something, or should I say someone. And if you aren't familiar with the series, just roll with us and try to keep up. Okay. When I turned down a quiet street that was a shortcut back to my hotel, I could hear the soft sounds of footsteps. I'd apparently raised enough alarm that the guardian had decided to follow me. Well, there was no way I was going to let him get the drop on me. I might have been smaller than him, and wearing a dress and heels, but I fought plenty of men, including some boys. I could handle this guy, especially if I used the element of surprise. After walking this neighborhood for so long, I knew it and its twisted as well. I picked up my pace and darted around a few corners, one of which led me into a dark, deserted alley. Scary, yeah, but it made for a good ambush spot when I ducked into the doorway. I quietly stepped out of my high-heeled shoes. They were black with pretty leather straps, but not ideal for fighting, unless I planned on gouging someone in the eye with a heel. Actually, not a bad idea, but I wasn't quite that desperate. Not yet. Without them, the pavement was cold beneath my bare feet where it rained earlier today. I didn't have to wait long. A few moments later, I heard the footsteps and saw my pursuer's long shadow appear on the ground, cast in the flickering light of a street lamp on the adjacent road. A stalker came to a stop, no doubt searching for me. Really, I thought, this guy was careless. No guardian in pursuit would have been so obvious. He should have moved with more stealth and not revealed himself so easy. Maybe the guardian training here in Russia wasn't as good as what I'd grown up with. No, that couldn't be true. Not with the way Dmitri had dispatched his enemies. They called him a god at the academy. My pursuer took a few more steps, and that's when I made my move. I leapt out, pistol ready. Okay, I exclaimed. I only wanted to ask a few questions. Just back off or else. I froze. The guardian from the club wasn't standing there. The human was. A girl, no older than me. She was about my height, with cropped dark blonde hair, and a navy blue trench coat that looked expensive. Underneath it, I could see nice dress pants and leather boots that looked as pricey as the coat. More startling still was that I recognized her. I'd seen her twice at the Nightingale, talking to Leroy men. I'd assumed she was just another of the women they liked to flirt with, and had promptly dismissed her. After all, what use was David to me? Her face was partly covered in shadow, but even in poor lighting, I could make out her annoyed expression. I wasn't quite what I'd expected. It's you, isn't it? She asked. A few more shocked. Her English was as American as my own. You're the one who's been leaving a string of Strigoi bodies around the city. I saw you back in the club tonight, interjected you. I... No other words formed on my lips. I had no idea how to respond. A human talking casually about Strigoi was unheard of. This was almost more astonishing than actually running into a Strigoi actor. I'd never experienced anything like this in my life. She didn't seem to care about my stupefied state of. Look, she said, you can't just do that, okay? You know what a pain it is for me to deal with? This internship is bad enough without you making a mess of it. The police found the body you left in the park, you know. You cannot even imagine how many strings I have to cover that up. Who are you? I asked at last. It was true. I had left a body in the park. But seriously, what was I supposed to do? Driving back to my hotel until bellhop my friend said to a drink. Sydney, the girl said wearily. My name's Sydney. I'm the electrician design here. What? She sighed loudly. I was pretty sure she rolled her eyes. Of course, she said. That explains everything. No, not really, I said, finally regaining my composure. In fact, I think you're the one who has a lot of explaining to do. Oh, she said, an attitude, too. Are you some kind of test they sent here for me? Oh, man, that's it. I was getting angry now. I didn't like being chastised. I certainly didn't like being chastised by a human who made it sound like me killing Strigoi was a bad thing. Look, I said, I don't know who you are or how you know about any of this. I'm not going to stand here and... Nausea suddenly rolled over me, and I tensed, my hand immediately going to the silver stake I kept in my coat pocket. Sydney still wore that annoyed expression, but it mingled with confusion now when he abruptly into my posture. She was observant, I knew that. I can't project over that. What's wrong, she asked. You're going to have another body to deal with, I said. Sister Going for her instead of me was bad form on Mr. Goy's part. I was through. He should have neutralized me first. Our positioning was supposed to be in his way, so he had to dispatch her before he could get her. He grabbed her shoulder, jerking her to him. He was fast, they always were, but I was on my game tonight. A that preternatural speed and lunged for me. I dodged him and attempted a punch that he dodged in return. His next one caught me on the arm, and I stumbled, barely keeping my ambush. My stake was still clutched in my right hand, but I needed an opening to hit his chest. The smart thread would have angled itself in a way that ruined line of sight to his heart. This guy was only doing a so-so job, and if I could stay alive long enough, I'd likely get an opening. Just then, Sydney came up and hit him on the back. It wasn't a very strong blow, but it startled me. It was my opening. I sprinted as hard as I could, throwing my full weight at him. My stake pierced his heart as we slammed against the wall, and it was as simple as that. The light, or undead light, or whatever, faded away from him. He stopped moving. I jerked out my stake once I was certain he was dead, and watched as his body crumbled to the ground. Just like with every Strigoi I've killed lately, I had a momentary surreal feeling. What if this had been him? For a moment I could see another face on this Strigoi, and I promptly shook this orientation off, and reminded myself that I had important things to worry about first. I had to check on Sydney. Even with a human, my protective nature couldn't help but be in. Are you okay? I asked. She nodded, looking shaken but otherwise unharmed. Nice work, she said. She sounded as though she was forcefully trying to sound. I've never actually seen one of them killed. I couldn't imagine how she would have. But then I didn't get how she knew about any of this stuff from this. She looked like she was in shock, so I took her arm and started to lead her away. Come on, I said. Let's get out where there's more people. Strigoi lurking near the nightingale wasn't that crazy of an idea the more I thought about it. What better place to stalk Leroy than at one of their teammates? Though, hopefully most guardians would have enough sense to keep their charges on valid like this. The suggestion of departure snapped Sydney out of her daze. What? She exclaimed. You're just going to leave him too? I threw up my hands. What do you expect me to do? I guess I can move behind those trash cans and then let the sun incinerate him. That's what I usually do. Right, she said. What if someone shows up to take out the trash? Or comes out of one of these back doors? Well, I said, I can hardly drag him off or set him on fire. A vampire barbecue could attract some attention, don't you think? Sydney shook her head in exasperation and walked over to the body. She made a face as she looked down at Mr. Roy and reached into her large leather purse. From it, she produced a small vial. With a deft motion, she sprinkled the vial's contents over the body and then quickly stepped back. When the drops had hit his corpse, yellow smoke began to curl away. The smoke slowly moved outward, spreading horizontally rather than vertically until it covered Mr. Roy entirely. Then it contracted and contracted until it was nothing but a fist-sized ball. In a few seconds, the smoke drifted off entirely, leaving an innocuous pile of dust behind. You're welcome, said Sydney flatly, still giving me a disappointed look. What was that? I exclaimed. My job. Can you please call me the next time this happens? She started to turn away. Wait, I can't call you. I have no idea who you are. She glanced back at me and brushed blonde hair out of her face. Really? You're serious, aren't you? I thought you were all thought about us when you graduated. Oh, well, I said. Funny thing. I kind of didn't graduate.